Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with Pacific Nut Producer Magazine, reporting to you from the annual Tree Vine Expo at the Stanislaus County Fairgrounds. In addition to some wonderful continuing education credited sessions, we had our State of the Industry seminars, one being the State of the California Pecan Industry, featuring Karlene Hanf. She's from Linwood Nursery. She also is a pecan grower herself. A long time, the president of the California Pecan Growers Association. So wanted to get your perspective in so many hats that you wear in the industry on how our California pecan industry is performing and how was the season this year? Okay. Things are a little behind schedule, aren't they?
Yeah, we're running about 7 to 10 days behind schedule. We just started some of the first harvest. The nuts are looking very good quality. The size, everything is looking pretty good on them right now. The bug penetration this year, people have been battling with aphids, which is kind of the norm, but in some areas it hasn't been quite as difficult to handle them this year, so not as much expense when you can avoid having to treat for that. Overall, I think we're looking at one of our best producing years in a long time as far as volume. I think last year, when everything's all told, we had about 7 million pounds, which for California, it doesn't sound like a lot compared to some of the other industries, but for California, it's a big deal, increasing our production in about 7 million. And we're probably going to see an increase this year too, which is always good because then you're kind of getting away from that alternate bearing up and down thing, if you can keep it growing. I think some of our younger orchards are starting to come into production and get to more full production, so that's helping that volume. And some of the older guys are changing some of their farming techniques. A lot of sunlight management in pecans. If you let yourself get shaded in the orchard, you're not going to have a good crop. So we've learned our lessons, I guess you could say, and now we're growing from there.
That's great. We've had a lot of water this year, and I'm wondering how that might have impacted some of the crop. I mean, several of our main commodities in California are impacted severely by rain and humidity at the wrong time of the year. How do the pecans fare?
Well, in California, we don't have too much of a problem with too much rain. One of the things about pecans is this groundwater recharge thing that everybody's talking about. Pecans can actually sit in water through the winter. I mean, it's not a great thing, but they can, and they survive it, and they will come out the other side, have a crop. I've got some pictures for the presentation today. An orchard was underwater. When I took the picture, it was June 12th. And the water was probably to here, and it had been there for 4 or 5 months.
Well, I think the fact that they grow pecans in some of the major states like Georgia, where they do get a lot of humidity and moisture, and so it tends to be a little more tolerant here, even though there might be different varieties.
I get that question a lot because there aren't a lot of pecans grown in California. I didn't know you could grow pecans in California. I didn't think it'd work. California has a great environment for growing pecans. We've got great soil, we've got great weather. I think the reason people haven't grown pecans is you can make more, or you could have previously make more on some of the other commodities. Well, the prices are kind of all jockeying around now and everything, and I think you're seeing, you can make money on pecans. This is a direction to go. If you've got heavy soil, if you've got water that stands in the wintertime, it's always good to have well-drained soil for any type of tree that I'm aware of. But pecans can handle it, and that's one of the things that a lot of growers have come to me talking about is, I've got this property, I really didn't think I could farm anything, but would pecans grow there? A lot of times they will, sometimes they won't. All trees have their limits.
And then do you think, California pecan growers, you mentioned the crop is looking good and great volume this year. Price-wise, market-wise, how is that faring? Well, we may not have all the answers, but what do we know?
As a pecan grower myself, you always want to see the price being more, don't you? But I would say it's not going to be our best price ever. As I talked to several buyers this year, nobody wants to give a quote right now because things are just kind of getting going. A lot of the other states don't even come in until like after the first of the year. You start getting their numbers in. You know, yeah, you're trying to put me on the spot with a price, and it is. I am going to say in there, so I guess I can say here what I've been hearing is about $1.60 to $2, somewhere in there is where it's going to fall. And I've talked to a lot of different buyers over the last few days, kind of trying to get a feel for where they think they're going to be. But things change rapidly right now, more so than I think any other industry, because when you do talk about Georgia, one hurricane and the entire market is like turned upside down as far as where we thought we were, as far as our production. And that is one of the challenges with pecans in California. We're not isolated here in California like the almonds. Everything for almonds is here. There's a little bit in Arizona, but not that much. Everything for walnuts is here. Pistachios for the most part. So everything's kind of controlled right here in California. We're dealing with 15 states that are producing, and we're all kind of trying to work together. But we all have our issues, you know, our challenges that we deal with.
Well, thank you for, giving your best, to your knowledge and of what's going to go on there. A lot of dynamics involved, and I get it. California does not command the market as far as volume, especially so. But we really appreciate.
But we'll get there.
Well, there's a lot of opportunity, and it's a multi-generational investment and opportunity for growers. So,
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing here today. Read more about these things in Pacific Nut Producer Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.